Hi. Do you know that in today's corporate world, we hear more and more employees complaining that their work doesn't matter much? In the past, if someone didn't like the job, they had two options: either change the job or simply get used to that. Nowadays, there is a new perspective, shaping work in such a way that we can find a meaning and commitment to the work that we have. Employers try to motivate employees by giving them different benefits. However, benefits are short lived. Employees get used to them very quickly and they expect more and more attractions. Meanwhile, taking care of building meaning of the work is a long term and beneficial strategy for maintaining and developing employees. Therefore, how can companies support employees in seeing their work as more valuable? My name is Kamila Ludwikowska, and today I will tell you about building satisfaction with work in a changing environment through job crafting. After watching today's video, you will know what is the sense of the meaning of work, what is job crafting, how to build a sense of the meaning of work, and what are necessary conditions for job crafting to occur. Let's start with the sense of the work. What does it mean? The meaning of the work is related to experiencing positive emotions by employees. Moreover, it is related to higher job satisfaction and a higher level of commitment, as well as less absenteeism and higher quality of tasks performed. The sense of the meaning of work answers the question of what does working in this position really give us. Contemporary employees more and more often indicate the need to find the meaning of their work. So how can the organization support these efforts? Do you remember the myth of Sisyphus? In ancient Greece, the obligation to do something irrelevant was seen as the highest punishment, and that was illustrated by the myth of Sisyphus. Anyone who misses to feel the meaning of the work, in fact, wants to avoid the Sisyphean fate. How can this be done? That is perfectly illustrated by the concept of job crafting by two American researchers, Emil Wrześniewski and Jane Dutton. Transforming work is a natural phenomenon that an employees change the way they perform a thing about task so that the work fits better with their competencies, with their values, and with their needs. Thanks to such changes, employee has the belief that he is the right person in the right place. So what is job crafting? According to Wrześniewski and Dutton, job crafting, in short, is making changes by employee in tasks or relationship as part of their work. But how to build job crafting? Building meaning in work requires additional involvement of the employee himself. Researchers indicate three main areas in which an employee can model their work. The first one is the nature and manner of performing our work. The number and type of daily work activities for each of us can be flexible to some extent. We have an influence on what task we will carry out, but definitely we have influence how we will do it. You can change the boundaries of your job by taking one more or fewer tasks, expanding or diminishing their scope, changing how they are performed. Of course, everything so that the company's goals are met. These changes can be very small, gradual, and radical. For example, you can change the way the presentation is prepared. You can pay more attention to the graphic side of the presentation. You can spend more time choosing the right photos. You can also introduce more moments of interaction and exchange with the audience during the presentation. The second area is the way you think about the work. Changing our perception of work, how we think about the relationship between our tasks, how we think about ourselves at work can also affect the level of happiness that we feel. For example, if an internet provider changes his perception of himself as a seller to someone who helps people connect and prevent from being socially excluded. So the meaning of his job shifts and his identity is reformulated. The third area is relationship at work. You can also change the nature or extent of your interactions with other people. According to Wrześniewski and Dutton, Meaning in work appears when we can share knowledge with others, motivate others to act, bring some values to others. For example, you might create some mentoring relationship with young employees as a way to connect and teach those who represent the future of the firm. It may seem that it's not a big deal, but the awareness that your strengths and passion are intertwined with your work helps us to see its meaning for ourselves. So, how to support employees looking for sense? Some employees transform work in a natural way, and this is related to being proactive and open to experience. The transformation of work can also be strengthened top-down through workshops, during which employees can learn how to be proactive. Workshops of this type allow employees to change their perception of themselves at work. From the role of passive, they can become co-creators of their work. During the workshop, participants look at their personal resources, their strengths, values, favorite activities at work, and tasks, their time-consuming and importance. The final stage of the workshop is for the participants to develop changes, which then they can introduce to the work that they perform. Important is that these changes are associated not only with increasing the sense of meaning in work, but also with self-efficacy. The more employee is adapted to the job, the greater is his effectiveness. In companies where people have a sense of the meaning of work, we can observe greater commitment and attachment to the organization. Therefore, it is worth creating conditions for employees in which they will be able to develop personally. So what conditions are necessary for the job crafting to exist? What must happen that dissatisfied employee will take over and propose changes in his work? For the effects of the workshop to be permanent and for employees to be willing to transform their work, there needs to be appropriate organizational environment. That environment affects both the efficiency of workshop itself as well as employees. In case of creating relevant environment, employees need to have the freedom to perform their task. They need to feel that the work environment needs to ensure opportunities to develop proactivity that enables them to make changes. Also, the chances of implementing their goals from the workshop must be there. In case of employees, they need to be motivated to act. They need meaning at work. They need a positive self-image. They need it for association and cooperation with others, as well as the search for fulfillment and development in the implemented activities. The organization should therefore create the conditions in which it strengthens the motivation of employees, their skills related to transformation of work. Job crafting helps people see the meaning of their work. Thanks to that, they feel greater satisfaction, joy, they feel proud of the task they perform. In the long-term perspective, this means for the entire organization a better match of employees to their tasks and thus stronger commitment and attachment to the workplace. Employees are also more proactive. They are ready to improve their work, are more willing to ask for feedback and engage in additional tasks. Putting the initiative in the hands of employees increases their inner strength and sense of control. That is why caring for a sense of meaning is a win-win strategy for the employee and for the corporation itself. Job crafting is an important tool in coping with a changing environment. The ability to adapt the environment, maintain relationship with colleagues, and the way of thinking about the work will help us all to function effectively both professionally and personally in the near future.